quit hitting the mic. Quit hitting the mic. It's all your fault, Cody. Shut up, Todd. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of your weekly news roundup here on Stando Mania. I, of course, am your host, Stando, and we have a smorgasbord of news for you this week. There is actually a crap ton load of news, Todd, here in February, bro. Let's start off with the biggest news story of the week, and that, of course, being Nintendo Direct this week. If you missed it, there was a lot of announcements coming out. It was actually a really good Nintendo Direct. Of course, Nintendo's been smashing it with their Nintendo Directs. We've got Mario Strikers Battle League. It comes out June 10th. That's going to be exciting. No Man's Sky coming to the Nintendo Switch. No Man's Sky, very grindy game. Glad it's coming to the Nintendo Switch because it's a lot easier to grind on handhelds than it is to grind at your office desk. So that's pretty cool. Fire Emblem Warriors, the Three Hopes, that's coming out in June. Oh man, we got some really cool announcements. Advance Wars 1 and 2. We're getting like a sequel to Wii Sports. You know what I mean? It's called Nintendo Switch Sports, which is a Wii Sports. Splatoon 3 coming out this summer. They announced Xenoblade Chronicles 3. That's awesome. I was really hyped. There's a Chrono Cross remake. Not really a remake, more like a remaster. Okay, so there's a Chrono Cross remaster that has my interest kind of peaked because that's a classic RPG that I didn't think would ever get a remaster or a whole lot of attention. If you think that the Chrono franchise is dead, maybe this is a good way to gauge for Square Enix how important that franchise is, and maybe that it makes a return somehow. That would be awesome, especially since we only got 2 games, one of them being Chrono Trigger, which is well loved by everybody, and then the more obscure Chrono Cross. Not as many people played Chrono Cross as they did Chrono Trigger, and it was a very different type of game, Chrono Cross was, and it's one of those forgotten gems on the PlayStation 1. It's a really good game, so I'm glad that it's getting a remaster and that we're going to see it on the Nintendo Switch on a modern console, and a new generation will be able to play that game. I think game preservation as a whole is very important. There's going to be a new mode in the Kirby Forgotten Land called Mouthful Mode, and it's kind of weird. You see Kirby eating a car or a refrigerator, you know what I mean? Portal and Portal 2 are being ported to the Switch. That's pretty amazing. Metroid Dread is getting a free update called Dread Mode. That's kind of scary. One hit throughout your adventure, you have to start the game all over. It turns Metroid Dread into a roguelike, which is kind of crazy. And then one of the biggest announcements at this is that we were speculating on a Mario Kart 10 or Mario Kart 9, whatever it's going to be called. We did a rumor news segment about that a few weeks ago. We're getting a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC that's going to be releasing through 2023. It's like $25 for like 48 maps. That's almost 50 maps that are getting added onto this game. So if you expect the next Mario Kart coming out anytime soon, I don't think it is. We're still supporting this game that came out on the Nintendo Wii U, and it's okay. I'm all right with that because Mario Kart 8 was it is a great game, and to have just more, right? Mario Kart, and this is going to be like from across the generations. You're going to have more courses from like the Nintendo 64, the GameCube, the Wii, from throughout Mario Kart history. That's where they're pulling these 48 courses from. I think this is a really cool addition. And by the way, we're going to end on this. If you have Nintendo Online and want to play some Earthbound, well, that's available for you. It's available for you in the virtual console, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's get this out of the way. Call of Duty, let us know it's official. We have a new Call of Duty coming out this year, and it's called Modern Warfare 2. Who saw that one coming? Call of Duty 2022 is going to be Modern Warfare 2. It's a direct sequel to Modern Warfare 2019, which to me and a lot of other people is the best Call of Duty in a long time, right? At least since the original, set of games coming out, like the Modern Warfare 2, World at War, that time period, right? So it's really cool to see Modern Warfare 2 coming out this year. I'm super hyped on it. With that comes a massive new evolution of BR goodness, says the tweet, with all new play space and a new sandbox mode in Warzone 2, which is what? Huh? Warzone 2 is a new massive evolution of BR. I don't know what that means, but I hope it's fun. But an all new play space and new sandbox mode. I'm excited. I really am. I do wish that some of our stuff from Warzone 1 ports over to Warzone 2. But what's really interesting about this noise is that it's not going to be Raven Software working on Warzone now. It's Infinity Ward. Infinity Ward is taking the helm and they're going to run with it, which is pretty awesome. It's going to have a new engine. Yet again, Modern Warfare 2019 had this new engine that was really cool, but now, we're getting another new engine with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2, which is really awesome. So the reason I like this is because the original Infinity Ward engine, it held Call of Duty up for like a decade, over a decade. So to be seeing these games get a new refresh every few years, that's really, really awesome. And, I don't expect, if the Activision Microsoft transaction comes, or, Microsoft buying Activision, if that comes to fruition, I don't expect us to be getting annualized Call of Duties. So to see the game actually making these developmental strides, a developmental progression that is noticeable every time it releases, that will be exciting and fun to watch. Speaking of which, we had Microsoft talking about Call of Duty and what their plans for Activision and stuff were, and they were talking about Activision and Blizzard games on PlayStation. They expect to not only honor their contracts through their existing agreements, but also beyond that. So you can expect Call of Duty to stay on PlayStation and the development of Call of Duty to keep coming to PlayStation beyond their current contract agreements. Also, what's really interesting is Microsoft says how they want to bring Activision Blizzard games to the Nintendo console and the Nintendo family, which means that we could be seeing Call of Duty on the Nintendo Switch, and that's super exciting to take a first-person multiplayer on a handheld adventure. That's super, super awesome. Now, one of my concerns with that is do the Nintendo? Let's face it, the Nintendo Switch is not as powerful as a PS5 or an Xbox Series X, or hell, even a PS4 or Xbox One. So going forward here, does Nintendo get its own server group? I don't want those guys just to get dunked on because Smo Joe over here on the PlayStation 5 has a higher frame rate. You know what I'm saying? Or, I don't want to be on the Switch and just get dunked on because, I'm having to play at a lower frame rate. I'm just saying, I wonder how that's going to play out in the future. I'm sure, I'm not a software engineer. I'm sure there's really smart people at Activision and Microsoft that can figure that out. And I hope that it's not just cloud streaming the games. Because cloud streaming multiplayer, it's kind of lame still at this point. It's not very good. So I hope that's not what it is. I hope that's not the direction this goes. I hope it's actually downloaded. Let's get it up to 60, 120 FPS and being able to keep up with the big dogs, or have their own servers dedicated for Nintendo Switch players, because there's a lot of them. So why not? We've got kind of a new announcement. Maybe it's really a leak from an insider on Assassin's Creed Rift. Apparently, this is going to be the next Assassin's Creed game, and it's being done to fill out their schedule. And it seems like this is going to be a very much smaller game. Actually, according to the source, it reportedly started off as a DLC content for Assassin's Creed Valhalla that got a little too big. So, but it's still small in its own right. So it's big enough to be its own game, or small enough to be its own. I don't know. It's too big for Valhalla, but just big enough to be considered its own game. That's what I'm trying to say. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Got it out there. All right. But this is really cool. It seems like they're wanting to return to stealth and not do the big open world stuff. I hope that's true. You'll be taken over as Basim, which is also kind of a curious decision considering how Valhalla kind of ends and what Basim means for the franchise. I don't want to spoil anything, but he had a big revelation in character in Valhalla, so it'll be really interesting to see how this all plays out. And I'm super stoked for it. I'm ready for a smaller Assassin's Creed game. I've been wanting that for a while. These games are overbloated, and it's kind of cool we're getting one, because Ubisoft has been taking, some smacks upside the head verbally, so to speak, with the way that they're making all their games the same, and over bloating them, and just trying to make everything an ongoing adventure forever. And they need to stop, because we have lives. So it's easy to dunk on Ubisoft, but at the same time, they make incredible worlds. They have incredible writers. So it'll be cool to see what they do. And hopefully this is a return to form for smaller Assassin's Creed games, if this rumor is true. Wolf Among Us 2 is going to be on its way. A lot of people loved the original Wolf Among Us from Telltale. Of course, Telltale became defunct and now is back. And, that's really cool, actually, how that worked out. So Wolf Among Us 2 on its way. It's finally, going to have some closure for a lot of people, with a lot of nostalgia for a lot of fans, because it's been a long time since they've seen the Wolf Among Us. Okay. Resident Evil 4 remake. Let's talk about that real quick. Apparently, it's not going to be a shot-for-shot remake, kind of like the earlier Resident Evil games were. The Resident Evil 1 remake, the Resident Evil 2 and 3 remake were kind of more shot for shot. This Resident Evil 4 is going to be based on a original pitch for Resident Evil, which means it's going to be a much more darker horror, focusing on the horror elements of Resident Evil 4. The game is going to take place at night, and it's not going to be a shot for shot. It's going to be kind of different than what you played way back when on your Nintendo GameCube, which is kind of cool, because I'm all for games getting remakes, but at the same time, we've played those games before, so give us something new. That's what I always say. And it looks like they're going to, it looks like they're going to do this with Resident Evil 4, and that's super exciting. All right, let's talk about your games that are coming out this week. Starting up with Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. That comes to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, the Nintendo Switch, Stadia, and PC. That comes out February the 15th. Assassin's Creed, the Ezio Collection, arguably the best set of games out of the entire franchise. That comes to the Nintendo Switch. That's super amazing that it's going to be running on the Nintendo Switch. Comes out February 17th. King of Fighters 15 comes to the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, PC. That's February 17th. Total War Warhammer 3 comes to the PC February 17th. And finally, it's here, guys. and that is Horizon Forbidden West wraps up our week. Coming out on the PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, February 18th. I can't wait to dive back into that world, that whole, taking off against dinosaur mechs and this, dystopian future. It's freaking awesome. I can't wait to dive into Horizon. I loved Zero Dawn so much. Forbidden West looks like it's going to just be more of that, but more amazing, bigger, broader, bigger, better. I'm ready. Count me in. Count me in. All right, guys. That's all the news I got for you guys this week. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you like the video content, leave it a like and, all that good stuff too. Let me know how good of a job we're doing, how crappy of a job we're doing, whatever. Just, interact with the video. It helps us out. Anyway, guys, I love your faces, and I'll catch you guys on the next weekly roundup. By the way, don't forget to follow me over at Twitch, twitch.tv/Stando, for all of our good live stream action. Love your faces, guys. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.